I'm Dane from Jim Pattison Subaru North Shore, and congratulations on the purchase of your new Outback. I just wanted to show you a few features to get you a little bit more comfortable with your new car. So you'll notice right out the gate, here in the door we have our memory seats. We have some window functions here. Our mirror control is on a toggle, so if I twist it to the left, I can control my left mirror. If I twist it to the right, I can control my right mirror. Up in the center, it's locked. I can't move my mirrors at all. So above your left knee, you're going to find more controls. For your power tailgate, you have your elbow sensor right there. And right in the middle, we have our tachometer dimming dial. So if it's late at night, there's lots of lights in the cabin, you can always turn the dial down and reduce the lighting you have inside the car. So on the steering wheel, we have a few more controls. On the left side, we have our radio and media control, as well as our voice function, our phone answer, and hang up. On the right side of the wheel, we have our features for adaptive cruise control. There's how we activate it. We have our toggle to set and speed up and slow down once we're on our cruise control. These buttons here control the proximity to the vehicle in front of us. And we have our lane keep assist right there. So that's what keeps us centered in the lines if it senses we might be a little distracted. Down here, we have our heated steering wheel button. On the left side, we have the kind of like mouse control. So if you're ever in the settings of the car, you can use the arrows to navigate, middle button to select whatever you're trying to go through. And then you have your paddle shifters behind the steering wheel. So if you're ever in the manual mode, found beside your gear shifter, you just move that to the left. You can paddle shift from there. On the left lever, we do have our headlight controls. So we have automatic, running lights, and headlights. Down at the bottom, we have our off switch. The inner ring will control our fog lights, on and off. If I push it forward, I get my high beams, and if I pull it towards me, I can flash my high beams. This also acts as our turn signals. So on the right lever, we have our windshield wiper control. So if I bring that lever down one click, we get our first speed on the front windshield. 2 clicks is our middle speed. And 3 clicks is going to be our fast or constant speed on the windshield. From there, we have a little ring you can twist that will change the intermittent speed between the wipes. On the end of the lever, you have your back window wiper controls. So if I twist it up once, you get your first speed, and twice gives you your second speed. From there, I can always twist it down to spray my back window fluid, or I can pull it towards me to spray my front windshield. So behind the steering wheel, you're going to find your trip and your trip reset buttons. So if you're someone that likes to judge your distance by the kilometer, you can. You have trip A and trip B. You press to cycle through. From there, you can just press and hold to reset your trip. Over your head, you have a few more controls, like your sunroof open and close, as well as your tilt. To the right of that, we have our door lighting. So if we have this to the left, it's set to doors. When we open the doors, the lights will turn on. If I have it set to off, we will have no interior lights when we open the doors. But I can always press that to activate my map light. So to the left, we have 2 more buttons. We have our SOS button, which will contact you if in the event of an emergency, as well as contact emergency services. To the right, we have our info button. So that will activate a concierge on the go with you if you ever need to find a location, address, if you want information on the area you're in. And then we have a little sunglasses holder there as well. On your new Outback, you're going to find your 11.6-inch display screen. If you're in a lower trim, you get your dual 7-inch screens, but all of them have our hazard button right there in the top left corner. As I go down, I have my parking brake button. It is an electronic parking brake, so if I put my foot on the brake and pull up, we'll see the light activate as well as an indicator in our speedometer. So beside the parking brake, you'll find a little cubby. You can put your phones in there, change whatever you might have. And you also find your 2 USB ports. That's where we connect our phones to charge, or if you have Android Auto, Apple CarPlay, we connect through there. To the left of that, you do find your auxiliary. So if you have an MP3 player you like to plug in through the headphone jack, you can right there. So below the gear shifter, you'll find your deep cup holders. On the right here, I have my American-sized drinks, and on the left, I have my Canadian-sized drinks with a little podium we can place inside. So in our center console, we'll find a tray, and underneath the tray, we have a little bit more deep storage, as well as our 12-volt charger. So once you've turned the car on, you'll find your 11.6-inch display with our home features right here. If you're in a higher trim level, you'll find your map right there at the top left. We have our radio in the middle, media's to the right. We have our phone controls underneath that. You have your apps page, as well as car info. So down at the bottom, you'll find My Subaru, which is new connected services for the 2020 Outback. Inside, you'll find roadside assistance, concierge services, as well as make an appointment at your dealer if you ever need to change your oil, put on your winter tires, get maintenance done. You can also download an app for My Subaru on your mobile device, which allows you to lock your car, control your climate, as well as start it. You have remote start on your app. To the right of My Subaru is where we find the settings. Up top, there's a banner where we can change the general settings, sound settings, navigation settings, as well as our phone, radio, and car settings, where you can customize the car as you want. So at the bottom of your screen, you're going to find your climate control features. Our on-off button is found on the touchscreen. From there, we have buttons on the side where we can control our temperature settings. We have our front defrost as well as our back window and mirror defrost options right there. If I touch a temperature setting, I can then change the climate control by using my touch screen here. I can sync to the passenger side as well as change my heated seat features right here. If I tap the button, it will turn the heat down all the way to off. If I touch the middle button here, I can then choose my fan position if I want it to be on my torso and feet, and I have my fan speed underneath that. It's a drag and dial. At the top here, we find our max air conditioner, our auto fan, as well as our air recirculator. Above your climate control, you find 3 more buttons. We have our home button, the big one in the middle. To the left of that, we have our control for our vehicle dynamics, our X mode, our auto vehicle hold, as well as our steering responsive headlights. I have a few more other driving assistance options like my pre-collision braking, my lane departure prevention, as well as my blind spot detection. To the right of that, I find my others, which is where we find our cruise control, acceleration characteristics, our warning volume, our units if we want to display them in kilometers or miles, and we have our auto start stop. To the right, we have one more button. If I press that, that's where we find our driver profile. So if you and your partner have very different seat positions, mirrors, you can always save that. So when you get in the vehicle, you select your profile and it will preset everything the way you like it. So here in the back seat, we have your vents for your back passengers, as well as 2 more charging ports for devices. And you have your heated seat for the back seats right here. So here in the center seat, we have a pull down cup holder. So here at the back of your new Outback, you'll find for 2020, there is a elbow sensor. So if you ever have your hands full with grocery bags, you can just use your elbow and put them in the back with ease. Here inside the trunk, you'll find another 12-volt charger. Underneath that, we have tow hooks if you have cargo that might slide around, you actually want to tie it down. There's little cubbies here with netting, and then you have a quick release button on the higher trim levels. If you're in a lower trim level, you do have a shoulder release found just inside the back door. And you'll notice your seats lay down flat. Underneath your cargo tray is where you find a little lever you can pull up, and that's where we have our spare tire tools, our wheel locks and lock key. Underneath this foam container is the actual tire. So that wraps up the quick feature overview of your new 2020 Outback. If you have any other questions or want any additional information, you can feel free to contact one of the product advisors at Jim Pattison Subaru North Shore. Thanks for watching.